Hello family, my name is Chris, I am your home gamer dad, and welcome to Masters of the Universe Clash for Eternia. I have been trying to figure out the best way possible to bring this to my channel for the longest time. I wasn't sure if I should do just like a standalone how to play and then sessions, but I think what I've decided and landed on was that I'm going to be doing basically what I did like I did for Final Girl, where I'm going to be explaining like setup, how to choose your characters, what to expect within a game, right in the beginning, and then we're going to go into an actual game. The best way to learn is to play, and I think that's going to be the best way to learn this particular game. This is also for the single player against the AI. So these are my characters down over here in the corner, and these will all be AI characters that I'm going up against. And I'm going to say that this should be a good tutorial for anybody that wants to know how to play the game by themselves as a single player, if they're curious about the game, what to expect of it, all kinds of things like that. So without further ado, why don't we go ahead and get into this? The very first thing you need to do before you even get anything going is figuring out your scenario. So why don't we go ahead to the book and read up on the rescue. The evil warriors have imprisoned our dearest friend and we need to rescue them. But beware, Skeletor has made the security airtight and you might be the next one seized. Okay, so as you can see from the book, there are labels up on the top, right below the title of this particular scenario. Controller are the evil warriors. So that's basically any bad guy faction of sorts. So the evil warriors here, the Horde, Snake Man, things along that ways. This is also a possible AI scenario. There's not a lot of AI scenarios within the book. I'm going to try to cover as many of them as I can throughout the course of all my playthroughs. But for right now, this is the very first one in the book. We're only going to be really worried about the victory conditions for the player character, because whenever you play this game, if you're doing 2 to 5 player, one player is the controller, the other players are the players, and that would be the single heroes or villains down on this side. Whoever's the controller would control all of this area with all the minions and everything. So we just have to worry about claiming all 4 scenario tokens, which are these things here. So as you can see on the map, they're here, 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 and I knew where to put them because, as you can see back here on the bottom of the book, it shows you a layout of the actual map itself, where everything goes. So we have to claim all 4 of those and have the NPC escape. Underneath one of these tokens is a special token that will reveal the NPC, and then we have to basically guide them down to the exit down here. Escalation triggers: when a character is KO'd, increase the track by 1. When a scenario token is claimed, increase the track by 1. I'm going to explain escalation once we get over to the sideboards and everything, but that just basically means our characters get stronger because it's AI. They are pretty much the same throughout the course of the game. Special rules pretty much go over what I said before about putting these 4 scenario tokens down. There is one of them that does show Adam in that weird face of his. That will spawn the NPC. Once per activation, a player that begins a move action adjacent to the NPC may place any adjacent space after completing their move. Basically means if I'm here and the NPC is there, my character could take their move, and then that NPC could jump to any adjacent square around the character. I'm going to say it won't be able to go up on ledges. This is elevation, by the way. As you can also see by the book here, there are rocks, which are down in this portion here, and then ruins, which are these up there. The other thing we have to remember once we get the NPC is that the NPC can be attacked, and if the NPC dies, I'm pretty sure that we are game over at that point. Looking at the map within the scenario book, as you can see, all the little C's down there are where the controller figures start. So in this case, that would be Skeletor and his minions. In the bottom right corner, you'll see 4 little P's down there. That is the player characters. All the M's around the board are minions. That's where their starting positions are. And then you have boulders as well. And that would be these things right here. As you saw on the map, that's where they were placed. Boulders are throwable objects in order to be able to do damage to all the minions or anything else around you. So that's basic setup for when you pick a scenario. You look at the scenario booklet, you see where the particular terrain pieces go, and then you can just kind of line them up on the hexes here in order to do that. As far as rocks and ruins go, the ruins, as you can see from up here, can only be entered or exit through entrance spaces. Line of sight cannot be traced into or out of except through the entrance spots. And as I go through the ruins, we'll go over that a little bit more. And as far as the rocks go, these block line of sight between models not on the same rock terrain, which I believe if you're on a rock, you can actually see somebody else and hit them from 1-to-1. But you get +1 attack die when attacking enemies outside this terrain and not on another rock. There's also a terrain penalty. You have to pay 2 in order to get up on it or leave it. So you pay 2 movement to get on top of it, and then you need to pay 2 movement to get off of it. After determining your scenario and setting up the basic terrain, you're going to want to figure out who you are playing as. Now, I already have a lot of guys here. You're going to want to do that and figure that out before you put them down. But in order to know who you want to play as, let's head on over to the side so we can see all the cards that a particular character comes with and which ones you're going to need when you play for basically any scenario or any player count. All right, I have a bunch of things already set up for this particular game, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and talk about each thing individually, just so you know what it is that you're looking at and how it got here on the board and what it is that we're going to be doing with it as we play the game. First, we're going to start up here with the player-controlled characters. If you're playing multiplayer, so 2 to 5, every person that is on the player side, not the controller side, will be able to basically play as a specific hero from their box. These 3 that I have here are actually from the box of power. They're like advanced or different versions of this particular character. But in the base game, you'll find base He-Man, base Man-at-Arms, base Teela, and a few other cool characters to play as. Regardless of anything, every character has the same cards to them. Now, the cards are going to say different things, obviously, but they have all the same stuff. First, you have a player control card, which if you flip it over on the other side, is also a controller control card. So it doesn't mean, if you're a controller, that doesn't mean you're always going to be a bad guy. That means that you get to pick somebody to be on your team. If you're a controller, you use this side. If you are a player, which is what we are here, then you use this side. These boards right here are for the player. There's another long board that comes with the game that goes for the controller as well to hold all their cards, but because I'm doing AI, I'm not going to talk about that right now. Speaking of AI, all the characters also have AI character cards. It'll actually say AI on the card itself. And when you flip it over, it shows what it is their abilities are, 1 attack and 1 skill for each character whenever you play against them in the AI. I am playing as Teela, so I won't need this, but this is another card that she comes with. You'll also notice that next to your characters, you have 3 empty slots here. These are where your advanced powers and abilities are going to go as the escalation track goes up. There's going to be a green, a yellow, and a red special power, and each character does come with 3 cards that represent those powers. Now, these powers are also double-sided, so when you go and you choose a power, you pick which side you want and you slot it in. You're going to be able then to start earning power for these particular skills as you get them. When you have a new power put in, you put a power up here, and power are these little cubes that represent basically energy that you use in order to activate attack boosts, bonus actions, reactions, all types of different things. Also, each character has their own activation character cards. I have the one down here on the track right now, but you'll know what they are when you look on the back of them because 2 of them, there's actually 3. Each character comes with 3 of them. 2 of them say player and 1 say controller on it. Obviously, you're going to use the controller one if you are playing this character as a controller, but because I am a player, I'm just going to be using the player side. Now, it comes with 2 because the player themselves can play 1 character straight through, 2 characters going twice, 3 characters, which I'm doing right now, and they'll have a special anybody goes at the end, or 4 characters where every character activates once. You would use these in the lineup here in order to see what order each character goes as. And I'm going to explain this a little bit detail. This is just what it looks like face up so you get an idea what that looks like. You're going to find the tokens that represent them, the character figures, and you're going to put them on the board where those P symbols were on any one of those. That's their player starting position. You're also then going to look at their health, which as you can see is 778. And down here on the track board, I've already placed their tokens on the set HP number. So as you can see, it goes from 10 all the way down to KO'd, which is knocked out. He-Man and, let me rephrase. Battle Axe He-Man and Terror Claw Skeletor are both starting at 8. Goddess Teela, Commander Man-at-Arms, Bounty Hunter Trapjaw, and Faker, as Faker, all start at 7 health. And as they take wounds, which is this game's version of damage, you're going to be moving them down the track, and of course, as they heal, they go up. your characters can never heal past their maximum HP. So if I'm at like 7 here for Teela and she heals 2, nothing happens. She can't go up to 9. She has to stay at 7 maximum because that's what it is on her card. And then down here, we have the characters I'm going to be playing against for this particular run. I decided just to go ahead and keep with the Skeletor versus He-Man theme, but advance it up a little bit because you see so many people using the base game version of Skeletor, the base game version of Trapjaw, and then usually like Evil Lyn or Triclops is here. I wanted to kind of switch it up a little bit. Got a lot of games ahead of us with this, so I want to like make it interesting so you guys can see all kinds of cool new characters and special abilities and things along that ways. And again, these guys are also all found within the Box of Power, which basically is the Kickstarter box that has all of the ones that were unlocked during the course of that Kickstarter. The hover robots are actually in the base game. These are the minions that I'm working with here. There are a few others, minions, I believe, that are in the Box of Power, but I like the hover robots, so we're just going to keep with them. As these characters earn power throughout the course of the game, it just kind of goes onto their card, and then they'll be able to spend it whenever something happens that causes them to spend it. You're going to be drawing from a deck of cards that basically is an AI activation ability, and whatever you read on the card is what it does. Again, that's something that we're going to see as we play through the game. But there's also another AI track right here. So this is a thing called the Balance of Power. If my heroes ever use, lose, or spend energy in any way, shape, or form, or power, I guess it is, then it doesn't go back to the pool. The AI actually starts to absorb it, and this will be moving up the track. So this way, when the AI goes for the strategy turn, which is what this card is right here, this is what they're going to be spending from, and it'll move back down as they spend it. Again, it'll make all the sense once we actually start getting into the game. Which, speaking of which, why don't we go ahead and do that right now? So the way that the standard game would go is that whoever is the controller would take their cards, all of them that say the word controller on the back, and they would look at them and determine what order they wanted their characters or whatever in order to go on the board. And secretly, they would put them face down here, and then a basic round would go, and this would actually happen on the player side as well. The players would talk to each other, and then they would determine what order everyone would go in. And then starting from here, it would flip over, this would activate, do whatever, and then once that was fully resolved, then we go to the next one down the line, boom, 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 boom. Because we're going up against the AI, these 4 cards actually get shuffled together, and they are randomly put down on the board. Now, I can switch my characters around all I want. I can do Man-at-Arms here, Teela, He-Man, He-Man, Teela, Man-at-Arms, doesn't really matter. But the last spot, the very last spot all the way over here is always, if I'm only using 3 characters. If I'm using 2, then it's 1, 2, 1, 2, and however they go. If I'm using 1 character, then literally their one thing goes here, and then that's it, because you know they're taking all the turns. And then, of course, if I'm using 4 characters, it's a different one on each player. But because I'm using 3 characters, the last slot here, any character can go. Any player character can go. So one of these guys will be able to take a second turn. All right, now that I've shuffled up just a little bit more, we're just going to go here like this. And now this is the first round of the game. The escalation marker is at 0, so we're at a 0 point right now. Again, if a character is KO'd, right? Yes, if a character is KO'd or a scenario token is activated, then the escalation marker goes up. So, no matter what, the controller will always go first. The thing is that once this flips over, certain characters are going to start gaining power, and that's what this little lightning bolt is. So, the controller will go first, whoever that is will take their turn, and then Battle Axe He-Man will go, and the first thing that he's going to do is he's going to collect 1 power, putting it in one of these slots. You can't put power in a slot that has not been unlocked yet. So I can't like start storing it up over here. I would only be able to use it for powering up his battle axe or his charge ability or something along that way. So let's go ahead and just see who goes first. All right, Bounty Hunter Trapjaw goes first. He's actually right up here. I have his model set on this C right here. And I just kind of put him on one of the random ones. It doesn't really matter. I just chose him to go there. The way that the AI functions within the game is there's a character activation deck down here. We flip over the first card. So we got right here, summon reinforcements. Character moves 2 spaces towards the closest enemy, stopping if they are in attack range. Spawn 2 minions adjacent to this character. They immediately activate, and then I would actually flip another action card for this character, but only resolve it once. Normally, whenever you have these, you would go from top to bottom doing one of the actions, and then you would do it again, because when I get my turn as He-Man, Man in Arms, or Teela, I get 2 actions a turn. So this is simulating the, AI getting 2 turns as well. So Trapjaw is just kind of go 1, 2. He's going to start moving his way around here. I'm supposed to spawn 2 minions, but I don't have any minions to spawn, so nothing else happens there. And now we're just going to move this to the side, and we're going to flip over the next one, and we're only going to resolve it once. Activate skill. If the character has enough power to activate the skill, I do not. I actually have no power at all. If there's an enemy within attack range, there is no enemy within attack range. Otherwise, character moves 2 spaces towards the closest enemy, stopping if they're in attack range. So that's all he can do. He's just going to go 1, 2, moving a little closer. So Trapjaw is kind of running around this, ruin right here in order to try to get to our heroes, blocking one of the entrances right there. Trapjaw has finished his turn, so he is done. It is He-Man's turn. He does gain 1 power because of where he is on the lineup there. So that is going to go up there. So now I can use that power in order to power up his stuff. So what does Battle Axe He-Man have? He has a basic attack of 3. So if I'm adjacent to an enemy, I can roll 3 dice in order to be able to basically do up to 3 damage to them. I could also spend 2 energy in order to do an attack boost. Enemies cannot use defense boost. So if there's an active defense boost on whoever it is I'm fighting against, they won't be able to use it. Or I can just spend 1 and ignore any shields, which is great. He's just cutting right through their defenses. In addition to that, he does have an ability, Charge. I would need to spend at least 1 power, and then Battle Axe He-Man performs 1 move action, then may perform 1 attack action. So it's a basic attack. And then I can Surge it, which is another kind of a boost for it. This attack may re-roll any dice. So that's nice. All right, He-Man's turn. On his turn, he gets 2 actions. Your actions are 1, move, which means you can move up to 3 spaces on the battlefield. 2, attack. A character performs an attack within an enemy within range and line of sight. I only have a melee attack right now. That was the sword that you saw on his card. So I'd have to be adjacent to an enemy in order to attack them. If I had range, I would need line of sight in order to hit them, and I can hit them up to 4 spaces away. Next thing I could do is interact with the scenario instructive thing. So that means if I am next to this, I could use an action in order to interact with it, flipping it over, seeing if it's the NPC, or at least, getting it off the board. And then finally, I could use an action to use a skill, which I haven't really unlocked yet. I mean, I had Charge, which is technically kind of an additional skill for him. But what I am going to do, though, is I want He-Man to start going up this way. So his first action is going to be a move. So 1, 2, 3. And then his second action is going to be a move as well. 1, 2, 3. I'm putting him right next to the scenario token. Now, the problem is that you can't interact with tokens so long as there's an enemy adjacent to them. So if Trapjaw happened to come in and stand right there, I would need to get rid of Trapjaw before I interact with these tokens. So for right now, He-Man is doing pretty good. I think he'll be all right, though I'm pretty sure this bot's going to come in here and make a problem of it all. All right, so that's He-Man's turn. He is done. If I happen to get something wrong or an error happens that one of you guys catch that I don't catch during editing or while I'm playing the game, please put it down in the comment section below so this way everybody watching this will be able to know. I might just consolidate them into a single pinned comment or something like that, depending on what happens. But I'm going to try to do this as smoothly and flawlessly as possible. No promises, but hey, we're having fun here. It should be good. Next, we have Shabam. Faker goes next. Faker gains 1 power because of him powering up right there. And now he gets to take his action. So all the cards that I've drawn so far from the character activation deck have been put to a discard pile. Those will get reshuffled back into here at the end of the round. But for right now, we have Faker doing Reckless Onslaught. If there's an enemy within attack range, he does all that. Otherwise, move 4 spaces towards the closest enemy and then stopping if range. this character suffers 1 wound. Wow. So Faker's all the way up here. I have him like in between these 2 ruins on this spot. He can go through spaces with his allies in it. He just can't stop on that space, and he needs to take the path of least resistance and closest way he can get in order to get to the closest enemy, which is at this point He-Man. So he goes 1, 2, 3, 4, which I said does give him a wound. So now he is up there. We have 3 characters now and 7 Fakers at 6. And he gets 2 turns. So that means he's going to do this reckless assault 1 more time. There's, again, no enemies within range. He only has a, melee attack. So he's going to once again move up to 4 spaces towards the closest enemy, stopping when they enter attack range. So then he'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, and get right next to He-Man. Oh boy. And this will wound him 1 more time, but man, he is ready to hit him with the replica power sword on his next move. Man-at-Arms is up next, which is awesome. I should also mention that both Man-at-Arms and He-Man have this little shield in him. That means that whenever they are attacked, the very first point of damage that they were to receive is basically nullified because they have a shield value of 1. Otherwise that, Commander Duncan, Commander Man-at-Arms, has the Power Mace, rolling 3 dice for adjacent enemies because it's a melee attack. He could attack boost it though. Enemies wounded by his attack become dazed, which is a status effect that is in the base game. There's not many status effects in this game, but if somebody gets dazed, I'll explain it. If the enemy was already dazed, I may re-roll any attack dice, which is awesome. I can also have the special skill here, Mark Target, for 2 power. Bonus action, target 1 enemy within 4 spaces. Until the end of the round, all allies gain +1 die against him. Woohoo. We're going to pop these 2 right in here because he gained 2 power from this spot here on the board. Now let's take his turns. Honestly, my original plan was to have Man-at-Arms and Teela kind of swing around this way and start grabbing stuff, but He-Man might be in trouble over there. We really don't want him to go down too soon. So what I think I may do, I have 3. And by 3, I mean 3 movement. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to go 1. I wish I had a ranged attack for him. We're going to go this way. All right, so we're here. Okay, so we're going to go 1, 2, 3 for his first action, and then 1, 2, 3 for his second action. He's going to jump into the ruins here in order to back up He-Man because these guys are probably going to come in. We're going to be fighting here in this little dungeon area. That's going to be nuts. All right, Man-at-Arms has finished his turn, and now the controller goes next. Strategy. So what strategy is basically this is when the minions go, and then there's a special strategy deck that we draw from that does something crazy, whether it be characters getting boosted or more minions coming on the field or something along that ways. So we have the hover robots here. They each have only 1 health to them, but they do have a shield. So that means I'm going to have to do at least 2 damage to them in order to destroy the robot. All minions cannot gain power. Power is gained from basically the balance of power mechanic for this. So regular characters can gain power, but the main AI cannot gain it unless I do balance of power or flipping it over on the board, which, speaking of which, this actually goes up by 2. So now the AI has 2 power to it that it can use in order to power up any strategy cards that it flips over. The other thing that the hover robots have are whirling blades. That's their basic attack for 2 dice. For any Castle Grayskull that is rolled, and I'll show the dice once we get to that and do a roll, which is going to be soon, they are going to roll 1 additional dice. Additional dice cannot generate for, so if you roll, a Castle Grayskull, and the next one rolls a Castle Grayskull, you're not just going to keep going. So now the minions are going to go first, and each minion on the board is going to activate 1 at a time, and what it's going to do is it's going to first do a move action, and then an attack action. And you can't do that in any order. It has to be move first, and then attack. The minion does not have to move if it's already in attack position. It can just attack as its ability. So I kind of like I'm going to start a little bit close here. So everybody gets 3 movement. So this minion's going to go 1, 2, 3. It is on the outside of the door here. So it actually does have line of sight to Man-at-Arms right here. So it is going to attack him for 2 dice. Got my awesome Skeletor dice tray right here, courtesy of my buddy Mark from his Fairly Poppin' store on Etsy. I know I've talked about it. I haven't talked about it in a while. I've also really been dying to show this off because I love this thing or whatever, but this is where we're going to be rolling dice for this game. And as far as the dice go, there are 3 different symbols on the dice: a sword, a basically target system, and then Castle Grayskull itself. There are 3 swords, 2 targets, and 1 Grayskull. If it's anything other than a minion, whenever a Grayskull is rolled, you will always gain 1 power. Otherwise, that you're just kind of looking for whatever the symbol is that their particular attack is. So this hover robot will roll 2 dice, and it's looking for swords. And of course, it gets 2 swords. One of those is blocked by Man-at-Arm's shield, and the other one actually does damage to Man-at-Arms. So we'll just keep moving along. 1, 2, 3. He's going to go in here. We're then going to go 1, 2. He's not going to actually move on to the spot here. Well, actually, he probably would. Oh, no. Does this count? I don't think I actually can move on this spot. I think this spot is just like a non-available spot right now. Like a terrain piece would be there. So he's just going to stop right there. He can't get any closer. And then just for me doing this quickly, these guys are all just going to move. And now everybody's starting to bunch up right in the center there as these robots are coming in. All right, so now that all the minions have gone, we're going to go ahead and flip over the strategy activation. And we're only going to flip over one of these. There was an original typo within the base game that says you flip over one, resolve it, and then flip over a second one and resolve it. That's not true. That is false. There's an errata, there's a new card or whatever that says you only flip over one, and starting from top to bottom, resolving anything that you can based off of how much energy the AI has. So we have command. The controller plays 3. It cannot, so it has to move on to the next effect. The controller plays 3. It cannot, so it has to move on to the next effect. The controller plays 2. It does have 2, so it's going to do this. The AI character with the most energy moves 2 spaces towards the closest player. Continue to the next effect. All AI characters with the lowest remaining HP heal 2 and gain 2. So the AI is going to spend 2. Faker's the one with the most energy out of the AI characters, but he's already next to He-Man, so that's not going to matter. And then the AI character with the lowest remaining HP, which is Faker, will gain 2 health back. So he's back at 7. And then he's also going to gain 2 power, which makes him even more dangerous on his next turn. All right, the strategy is done. Teela is going to go. She does gain 2 power, which is great because she can use that for her Serpent Staff. Can either be a melee or a ranged ability, which is great. I can do an attack boost to hit all adjacent enemies, and then I can do a second attack boost that hits all other enemies adjacent to the target. So basically, it's enemies adjacent to her and then enemies adjacent to the target. The thing with attack boosts is that you can have multiple attack boosts for your attack on a turn, but each boost can only be used once per activation. So I can only use these once per turn if she has the energy to do it, which is fine. You know, it's like she wouldn't need to do this more than once anyway. She also has command for 3 energy, 3 power, bonus action. So it's an addition to her 2 actions. One ally within 4 spaces performs 1 action. So she's giving an action to another character, which is awesome. She, however, needs to go and help her friends. All right, first thing she's going to do, she's going to move. She's going to go 1, 2, and I think she's going to stand right here. She's not going to move any further. No, I will move 1 forward. It doesn't really matter because that guy's going to need to move up anyway in order to get to me, and so it doesn't matter. So, 1, 2, 3, that's her movement. And now she has full line of sight on both of these minions here. She does have a ranged attack to her. Her snake staff allows her to either do a melee for 3 dice or a range for 3 dice. So she's going to do a ranged attack, which is always within 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3 hits. Doesn't matter. She can hit either of them. And then she's actually going to attack boost. She's going to use one of her energy in order to hit all other enemies adjacent to the target. So she's going to basically target both of those hover robots next to each other. That means the AI does gain 1 energy because that's the balance of power. Using, spending, losing energy or power, I'm going to keep calling it energy, power in any way, shape, or form from your heroes, or your player characters, I should say, will always go immediately to the AI. Because this is a ranged attack, she is looking for 3, or well, 3 would be ideal, 2 of those ranged symbols, or actually that's great. That's even better because Grayskulls, not only do they give power to whoever rolled it, so Teela is going to gain 2 power, but they count as wild. So in a sense, her attack did 3 damage to that one hover robot plus whatever robot was next to it. So she's like casting a spell, firewall, goes right here, bypasses, well, doesn't bypass, but it's 3 damage, so it knocks out the shield, and then this one explodes, and this one explodes as well. So that's awesome. She's able to kind of clear the path a little bit here for He-Man and Man-at-Arms to hopefully, you know, defeat these guys and see what that particular, token is. All right, Teela has finished her turn, so now we know that Terraclaw Skeletor goes next. Eat my claws. He gains 2 power from where he is, so we're just going to pop that right up here. And I'll go over whatever their attacks and their skills are and things along that ways if I happen to draw something that requires me to do that from the character activation deck. Speaking of which, let's draw the top card. And this one happens to be Empowered Skill. Before taking their first action, character gains 3 power. So he just gains 3 power. If the character has enough power to activate the skill and there's an enemy in range, skip if the character has already used their skill, which they have not. So let me see here. Let's check. All right, so he would gain 3 power, which I believe these guys can have any number of power on them as they want as an AI character. And again, if that's wrong, please let me know, but I'm pretty sure they can just gain as much power as they need. His skill is Horrify, which would require 1 power. All enemies within 2 spaces become dazed. Unfortunately, there is nobody within his range for his attack. So he can't use the skill. He can't do an attack. Otherwise, move 2 spaces towards the closest enemy. He's actually just going to move 2 spaces twice because there's nothing else for him to do. He's not in any range or whatever. This gain 3 energy here, 3 power, will only happen once, so he's not gaining more. All right, so he's just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and move his way up over this way, try to get himself into the battle. Okay, so now that Terraclaw Skeletor is gone, we are in the final step for this round. Any player character goes. That means I can have Teela, Man-at-Arms, or He-Man each take an additional turn. And I'm going to have He-Man take another turn. So he's going to first gain 3 power. We're going to pop that right in here. Boom, boom, boom. And now he's just going to go ahead and do an all-out assault on Faker. He's going to use 2 actions. And both of those actions, he's going to be using an attack boost of ignoring the shield. So that means no matter what he does, he'll be able to bypass the, the defense that Faker has. The Faker has 7 health, but then 1 defense as well. So he's going to be able to bypass that. Unfortunately, and I'm just going to do this now to do it, so both of these come out, so he's using 2, but then, of course, the AI then would go up here because it absorbs it through the balance of power. All right, this is a melee attack, so He-Man is looking for swords or Castle Grayskull, and we're going to do this twice. So the first one does 1 whole damage to Faker. Remember, I ignored the shield, so that actually does apply to him. And then He-Man's second attack to Faker does another 1. Oh, man, He-Man, that stinks. Well, all that did was 2 damage to Faker, so he's down to 5. That kind of leaves it as is. And that, my friends, brings us to the end of round 1. And that's kind of how the game plays. Now, these all get reshuffled together. And I got to figure out what order I want my team to go. Okay, so this is all shuffled up, so I don't know what order these are in. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Teela go first, and then Man-at-Arms, and then He-Man. He-Man has the most health, so he can definitely take a little bit more of a beating. I want Man-at-Arms to kind of go in there, like on the side. But Teela should be able to defeat that one robot and then run around to the back. So, you know, maybe she'll be able to start getting some of those tokens out of the way. But now we're just going to kind of move along this a little bit quicker. The first thing that happens is Faker goes, uh-oh. All right, we know Faker's right next to He-Man up there, so let's see what happens. Charge. If there's an enemy within attack range, character performs 1 attack. Well, yep, that's He-Man, so it looks like they reroll any misses. Oh, no. Uh-oh. So Faker's attack, which is written in red up here of all capital letters, so there's attack and skills. He's only doing an attack. He's actually doing this attack twice on He-Man, so that's awful. Replica Power Sword, he's rolling 4 dice, and if possible, they will always activate any boosts or anything along that way. So for this first attack, he will be spending 2 energy. I do not gain this power. This is just something he has and he's using. So the first attack is going to have an attack boost, rolling 2 dice and ignoring shield, which is awful. So it's going to be 6 dice going at He-Man, and then he's going to do another 4 dice attack. All right, so 6 is the maximum amount of dice you can ever roll for an attack. So he's doing 6. He does reroll and he misses, so that's a miss. Oh, goodness gracious. He does the full 6 to He-Man in one shot and gains 2 energy. And then his second attack is 4 dice. Oh, that's it. It doesn't matter. I think that brings He-Man. Oh, it definitely does. So that awful attack actually gives Faker 3 power because he did get a chance to re-roll those dice as I did last time. And He-Man is whoosh all the way down here and knocked out. So that means that He-Man will come off the field, which I will do in a moment. And when he goes here, he's going to respawn back at the player's starting point and then have to kind of get to wherever he needs to from there, which also means that Man-at-Arms is a little bit by himself. However, on a positive point, Escalation does go up to 1 now, so we will be able to gain our initial skill for each one of our heroes. He-Man has either Cleave, an attack boost for his melee attack only. If this attack KOs an enemy, perform 1 battle axe attack. This repeats if another enemy is KO'd. Wow, that's crazy. And then you can surge it. After completing this attack, you can push Battle Axe He-Man up to 1 space before performing his next attack. Or he has Lash Out, a reaction after He-Man is attacked while there's an enemy adjacent to him. Roll 1 dice for every wound he suffered from this attack. Well, I wish we had this now. For each Grayskull or Shield, deal 1 damage to an adjacent enemy of one adjacent enemy. Deal 1 adjacent enemy 1 wound. So basically, it's striking back. It's a strike back attack. Commander Man-at-Arms has Tactical Reposition. I can push Man-at-Arms or 1 ally within 4 spaces of him up to 3 spaces for 1 action, or I can surge it, may ignore terrain penalties, and may move through enemies during this push. Oh, that's really good. And then he has Counter Blow for the other one, a reaction. After being attacked from an adjacent space, roll 1 dice for each wound Man-at-Arms suffers from the attack for each one, blah, blah. So it's basically the same thing that He-Man has as a Lash Out. And then Teela either has Heal for 2 energy. She heals herself or an ally within 4 spaces 2. She can surge it to increase it by 1, or she can surge it in order for this to become a bonus action and not have to take away her main action. She also could Staff Vault, a bonus action which will push her up to 2 spaces. She can surge it for 3 power altogether. Enemies she ends adjacent to become dazed. I think I'm going to go with Lash Out for He-Man, Tactical Reposition for Man-at-Arms, and Heal for Teela, because we love healing. And then by gaining them, they each do gain 1 power as a starting bonus of sorts. But they also can only hold up to 3 power each. So use it or lose it, my friends. Unfortunately, again, He-Man is off the board for right now. He is not a valid target. But at the very least, then Man-at-Arms is right here in order to be able to do something. Now, there is a thing called escape damage. If Man-at-Arms was next to an enemy and he left their adjacency at any point, then he would suffer 1 wound. Now, I always consider that moving completely away from them without them touching you anymore. So like if Man-at-Arms was here, he could move here and still be adjacent to this guy, so he won't do the wound. But if he goes back, he would suffer it from this enemy here. So you got to kind of watch where you are, positioning yourself around a lot of enemies. All right. Teela's turn. I can go ahead and put this power now that I have for her either in this spot here, or I can put it up next to her skill. I'm actually going to give it to her skill, so now she has the ability to heal. So the first thing that Teela is going to do is she is going to go ahead and target this guy right here and do a ranged attack for 3 dice. I don't think she's going to do any boosts or anything, no, because there's nobody around her or whatever. So she's just going to go ahead and attack him and destroy him, so we don't have to worry about it. At least hope to destroy him anyway. We need 2 damage, but dang it, that's not going to work because the shield is just going to absorb. You know, she'll just use her second action. I want to kind of just get rid of it and clear the field. All right, well, that still doesn't work, but she does gain a, 1 more power. So unfortunately, that's Teela's entire turn, but I'm just going to give her this power right there. I wish I had thought about it and done command instead in order to give Man-at-Arms a turn, but that's all right. Next, strategy. Oh, great. Here comes all the minions. All right, so we're going to have this minion go first. 1, 2. So he's next to Man-at-Arms. He's going to do an attack. 2 dice attack, and it hits Man-at-Arms for 1. And then this guy is going to come into here, and he's going to do the same thing. Another 2 dice attack. Not only does he hit Man-at-Arms for 1, he hits Man-at-Arms for 2 because he rolled a Gray Skull on this one, which enables him to do that. So that's 3 damage for Man-at-Arms. This guy's going to go 1, 2. Wow, right around him. He's going to attack him. Oh, come on, do something good. All right, finally. So, well, I do get to roll 1. Okay, that's it. So that's another damage for Man-at-Arms. So that's 4 damage against Man-at-Arms. And then this guy's just going to move up 1 and attack Teela. Oh, jeez. All right, so 1 damage to Teela. So 4 to Man-at-Arms, 1 to Teela. This is where things can get dicey. 1, 2, 3, 4 for Man-at-Arms, 1 for Teela. Oh, I'm glad Man-at-Arms is going next at least. All right, so we got to do a strategy activation now and see what happens. So, all right. Controller plays 3. This is command. The character with the most energy takes 1 action, continue to the next effect. Doesn't have anything, and then heals. So that is Faker. So out of the 3 down here, the one with the most power is actually Skeletor. He does gain 1 action, and he's probably just going to move because he's not in any attack range, and he can't use his Horrify skill. All right, here he comes. 1, 2, 3. I'm coming to get you guys. Yeah. All right, Man-at-Arms' turn. He does gain 2 power. I'm going to put 1 here, and I'm going to put 1 here. Unfortunately, at this point, he really can't do much. He has no healing. Teela's so far away from him that she's not going to be able to really do much of anything. Maybe I'll have her do the extra turn to get up there and help him. But for right now, I think all he's going to do is he's going to take his mace. He's going to start beating on those robots. Fortunately, he doesn't have any means in order to hit everything, but attack number 1 destroys a robot and gives him an energy. That's awesome. And then attack number 2 also destroys a robot because it goes past the shield and nails him for 1. Boom! He swings his axe, and both of these minions are gone. Now, the minions can always respawn later, but at the very least, that's a little bit less that we got to worry about right now. Faker has already moved, so I don't have to worry about that. That's kind of why I took out the ones to the left. Skeletor can still move, but I think that should be fine for right now. I'm going to put this power right here so he can use it for later, and now that is the end of his turn. He did 2 basic attacks. So, Trapjaw goes next. Let's see what he is doing. Reckless Onslaught. Enemy within attack range. No, there is not. Otherwise, move 4 and wound himself. So he's going to definitely move the 4 and be right next to Man-at-Arms. And then he's going to perform an attack on the enemy within range of the lowest HP. That's going to be Man-at-Arms. Attack maximum dice and gain all attack boosts and surges without playing things. He doesn't have any. So he's just rolling 6 dice. But the character must suffer 1 wound for each miss. Huh, okay. Okay, so first thing he's going to do, he's going to go this way. 1, 2, 3, and come up here from behind him. Because that also kind of blocks the way between him and Teela. I feel like that's something more sinister and evil for these guys to do. So he moved here. He moved up to 4. That was, it says move 4 spaces towards. So I'm going to say that's fine. I bet it's supposed to be up to 4. He's going to take 1 wound, and then he's going to roll 6 dice against Man-at-Arms. This could be very deadly. All right, limit of 6 dice for any attack. Duncan has 2 health, but remember, one of these is blocked by a shield, and Trapjaw might hurt himself too if he rolls a lot of long range. It didn't happen, but that's 2 damage for Trapjaw, 1 to get past his shield, and then 1, 2, 3 plus a power going to Trapjaw. Man-at-Arms is down. Oh, he got him in the back. Oh, and off the field he goes. Oh, man, that stinks. All right, so you're in the KO area as well. You gain a power, and we're escalated to 2. So, that's it. That is Trapjaw's turn. Oh, he also takes 2 damage as well because of the misses from the Reckless Onslaught. So, at least these 2 are kind of close to going down. Get them off the field for a turn or so, but we'll see what happens. Now then, Trapjaw is gone. He-Man returns to the field, so let's go ahead and take his. Bring him back up to 8. And then, boom, back here we go. He-Man is all ready to go. 2 fresh actions. You know what I am going to do? First action is going to be 1, 2, 3, and then because I have the high ground, my second attack is going to be right down on top of Trapjaw's dead. What? Get him! Attack, He-Man, attack! All right, He-Man does gain 2 power from where he is on the line, so I'm actually going to put them both here. So Lash Out's good to go in case he gets attacked. Do I want to ignore that for Trapjaw? Yes, I do actually. So I'm going to spend 1 of my power, giving it to the AI, and now I'm going to go ahead and do my Battle Axe attack, ignoring shield from Trapjaw, doing 3 attack. I'm not going to be able to knock him out, but that's pretty... do I want to do anything else? You know what? No, I take it back. I take it back. I have actually spent this to do charge. So I've done 1 action, and we're going to do charge instead. I forgot that he had this. I can perform 1 move action and then perform 1 attack action. And I'm going to be, still just spending 1 power. Do I want to do any rerolls? I don't want to do any rerolls. Okay, so that's what I'm doing. So first action is charge, which got me up onto the rock, and then attacking Trapjaw for 3 dice. Come on, come on, come on. I have some good attack here. Come on, I have to get past his shield. All right, so I did 1 damage to him. That's okay, I'm cool with that. All right, so I pushed right there, and I still have another, action for He-Man. So I'll spend another power, which again, this goes up here. So now the AI has 5, which is gonna be awful for the next strategy. And we're gonna ignore the defense here for another attack on Trapjaw. Hopefully if I get a full-on 3 hits, he goes down. Swing your mighty axe of power, He-Man! Oh, yes, 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 yes! That is awesome. That's also another escalation. He is off the field for right now. That is great. I have the power! Even though I don't have my sword, I have my axe. All right, 1, 2, 3, you're there. Escalation down to the yellow. Let's see, what do we got? He-Man can either do the Mighty Leap bonus action, push He-Man up to 2 spaces, surge it, perform 1 attack after this push, paying all additional energy costs, or power costs, whatever. He also can overpower Battle Axe. He-Man may suffer 2 wounds instead of paying the power for the skill, so it won't go to the AI then, which is awesome. Roll 2 extra dice, and enemies wounded by this attack become dazed. I may have to consider overpower. Man-at-Arms gets Mace Slam, also hits all adjacent enemies. Really? I couldn't have got that before. Attack Boost hits all enemies within 2 spaces of the target. Ooh, that's awesome. Or Stun Beam, which is a long-range attack. For each success, the enemy also loses 1 power. For each power they can't lose, they suffer 1 wound. That's mostly for characters that won't really work on minions, so it won't work on the AI. Attack Boost, enemies wounded by this attack also become dazed. Cool. And then I like Teela's. You have Offensive Stance, which she gets +1 die on attack rolls, and then she has a reaction after rolling attack dice, reroll any dice. But you can also pay 1 in order to flip the skill over to show her Defensive Stance. And I think this is the one I'm going to start it on. She gains 1 armor. So now she also has a defense to her. Defense Boost, attacker suffers 1 wound for each miss. And then, of course, you can also flip this back over to the attack stance. So I love that. That's awesome. I've decided to go with the Mighty Leap for He-Man, the Stun Beam for Man-at-Arms, and starting again with the Defensive Stance for Teela. Okay, so we know who's next here. We know that Terraclaw Skeletor goes again. So he's going to gain 2 energy. He has a lot of energy. He has energy for days at this point, all this power. Which again, guys, let me know down in the comment section below. I don't think that there's a limit when you're going up against AI because you don't use their bases for these. So it just keeps piling up. Also, it just makes things more difficult whenever you're going up against them. Oh no, summon reinforcements. Character moves 2 spaces towards closest enemy, stopping in a range, spawn 2 minions to this character. They activate, and then I draw another one. Okay, so we're going to go 1, 2, and then these 2 spawn. I actually realized I should have gotten another dice from where I am going down against Trapjaw right here. Probably would have beaten him sooner, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter. Oh, that's Trapjaw. You don't go there. Minion goes here. Now they activate. So they are going to move. 1, 2. He can fight He-Man, by the way. And then 1, 2, 3 also. So we're going to have this guy attack He-Man first, then we're going to have this guy attack He-Man. All right, He-Man has his armor. Let's see if we can avoid some stuff. So the first one does nothing, and the second one does 1 damage. Do I want to spend? No, I don't want to spend the 1 energy to lash out because it's not going to do anything because that armor is not going to, it's just going to ding off that. All right, He-Man's down to 7. And then we draw 1 more for Skeletor, and we only do this once. Gain 3 energy, empowered attack again. Jeez. Perform 1 attack. He is not in range. Let's see. Well, he already took his first attack, his first action. So I'm going to say I'm skipping this. He's not in with attack range. Character moves 2 spaces towards closest enemy. All right, that's all he's going to do. So Skeletor is just going to go 1, 2, and that, as they say, is that. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do here for this spot is I'm going to have Teela go. So I'm going to give her 1, 2, and she gains a 3rd. I'm actually going to put it in the heal spot, so this way we can start healing people. First thing she's going to do is she's going to use her Serpent Staff at a range and hit all other enemies adjacent to the target. So she's going to spend 1 power, giving it to the AI. She's going to target the closest robot to her, and then try to hit everybody for as much damage as she can. All right, we got a ranged attack here. Let's see what she can do. All right, so that's good. All right, I like that. That's cool. That's cool. Perfect. Firing off once again from Teela's magical staff. Take it out. Oh, she flies around or whatever. So 2 damage. Boom, you're gone. Boom, you're gone. And Terra Claw Skeletor right here takes 2 damage as well. For Teela's second action, she's going to turn to this guy and just kind of whap him on the head with her staff. Maybe do some kind of cool kick to him or whatever. Just knock him away. This is a melee attack, so now we need to actually see swords or gray skulls. Either one of them. There we are. There it is. Boom, boom. That one's gone too. Boom. She is just unloading on these robots here, which is awesome. She can take a bonus action. Do I want to take this action? So I know Terra Claw Skeletor took 2 damage, so he's down here. I could spend the 3, and 1 ally within 4 spaces can perform 1 action. He-Man could do something. I don't think it's worth it. Now, and I can't. I could surge. I could heal He-Man, but he's only down by 1. Teela's only down by 1. Nope. Okay, no. I'm good. She's good. She's good. All right, with that said, let's go ahead and get rid of these and do our reset. I'm actually going to have Man-at-Arms go first to get him back on the field as fast as possible. Teela is fine going here, and then He-Man's fine going here. Again, I'm going to try now to start getting those. I need to get those tokens, because that's the whole purpose of this entire thing, is to get those tokens, to find the NPC, and to rescue them. So, everybody's all set up. We're good to go. First order is... Oh, wow. Terra Claw Skeletor goes first. Doesn't gain any power, but what he does is sudden recovery. Before taking his first action, heal 2. If there's an enemy within attack range, he performs 1 attack. Otherwise, move 2 towards the closest person. Okay, so he's going to heal 2, move towards He-Man, and then attack him. So Terra Claw is actually back at 8 here. And now he's going to go here and then just swing his fists wildly. Actually, no, I'm going to say he moves here to try to block He-Man from going here. So He-Man needs to do something about him in order to be able to get it. Come on, you fool! Get over here! Taste my claws of fury! Ah! So he is going to go ahead and spend these things. He's going to spend 4 power because he has to. He's going to do an attack boost for each wound dealt. He's going to heal himself. Well, no, he wouldn't do that. He's at full health, so we're not going to do that. After this attack, perform 1 additional Terra Claw attack. It cannot generate any power. So he's going to do the first attack for 3, and then he's going to do another attack right afterwards. All right, first attack at He-Man does nothing, actually, because of that, which is great. He has the 1 armor, so that just dings off of him. The second attack that he used, because of the surge, does do 2 damage to He-Man, but He-Man is then going to go ahead. Does the heal? No, he's gonna leave it. Never mind. He doesn't want to give the AI any more. I don't want to give it any more power. And Teela may be able to heal him anyway. So we're just gonna go down to for He-Man. Terraclaw's right here. That's fine. That's the end of his turn. Man-at-Arms comes back, so we'll bring him back up to 7, and we'll drop him on the field. All right, boom. There he is right there. So I think what Man-at-Arms is going to do is he's going to do kind of what Teela wanted to do, and he's going to go 1, 2, 3 for his first move. I did gain the power for Man-at-Arms here for this ability, which I didn't use at all. Same thing for He-Man. I don't remember if I gave it to Teela or not. I might have because I see 2 here, but I don't remember. Doesn't really matter. Tactical reposition. So for his second action, he's going to do this. Push Commander Man-at-Arms or one ally within 4 space. Oh, no, he's not going to do that, actually. Because if that was a free space, that'd be great. May ignore terrain. No, okay, no. So he's just going to leave that then. All right, so he's just going to go 1, 2, 3 for his second action. Kind of move his way up this way. Maybe destroy these robots. And then see what he can do about checking out whatever these, tokens are. Also, if he's far away from enemies, he doesn't have to worry about them. Speaking of enemies, Trapjaw is back in the game. So he will come back up to 7, and he'll start right up here. Now, generally, you start them in the most spot that'll do most damage for us. So yeah, him being up here and them kind of guarding this one seems like their plan. So he's there, and then his activation is attack and advance. If there's an enemy in attack range, attack. Otherwise, he's just going to be moving. So we're just going to go 1, 2, and then probably 1, 2. So they are really guarding that spot. I wonder if my NPC is there. Trapjaw did gain another power from where he came back in on the, the track here. So he has 2. I got to be careful. He does have a reaction here for when anybody is kind of around him and whatnot. But Teela goes next. She gains 2, and I think she's going to put 1 here, and I'll put 1 for my defensive stance because I think I may need it. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to heal. Oh, man, do I really want to do that much? What is he at? He-Man's at 5. I could heal him back up to full and make it a bonus action. She still has her 2. All right, let's do that. Let's go 1, 2, 3. Not my favorite, but we'll go 1, 2, 3 for the AI. So they're up to 9. And now He-Man is also back to full at 8 health by using her heal ability. She's just going to move 1, 2, 3. That's going to be her second action. I'm going to do the original thing that I wanted. I'm going to take these 2 and start running around here. He-Man is kind of just drawing Skeletor and his goons towards him. I think He-Man could be able to take them out, especially if he's up here. Then he'll be able to kind of like pull them off or distract them or whatever while Teela and Man-at-Arms run around and check out these things. All right, next, Faker goes. Oh, great. So that means this is the strategy turn. All right, Faker's card is also attack and advance. There's 2 of them in the deck, so guess 1, 2, and then 1, 2. He is now in range as well. He-Man can't really run away from where he is because he's going to be would take escape damage, but he is at 8, so maybe that's not the worst idea. All right, well, Faker gains 2 power, and it is He-Man's turn. I'm going to give them 1 here and 1 here. And honestly, all I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to do the battle axe. I kind of want to just nail Faker. We're going to spend 1 to give the AI 10. So really, I'm going to bring it all the way back here, and it's going to say 10 plus. So now it's whatever it is, it's 10. So the first attack He-Man's going to do is going to ignore damage. He's going to go up against Faker. All right, first 3 dice that He-Man goes against Faker. Whoa, nice. Okay, so that's completely the best case scenario right there. So that is doing full 3 damage to Faker. So he's gone from 5 to 2. I'll spend the other energy in order to ignore the defense again in order to hit Faker 1 more time. And there you go. That knocks him out. So that would be another power that the AI gets. But we did 1, 2, 3 for the first one, and then 1, 2 for the next one. Faker is gone. This goes down. We'll spin it back up this way to 4. So we only have 1 more left. That'll work. That'll play. That'll be perfectly fine. I like that. Removing Faker from the board over here, and now He-Man is just kind of chilling here with everybody else. We know that this is strategy, which they do gain the 2 power from there. And let's see what awful thing we have in store. Okay, here we go. We have Empower. So this is another card that got a bit of an errata to it. It says, this card remains in play until the next controller activation. It's supposed to be the next strategy activation. So this stays in play and does not get reshuffled back into the deck until the strategy activation card is revealed again. While this is exposed, the controller pays 2 energy while this card is in play, all AI characters. So I'll be taking 4 away. So that means so long as this is in play, all enemy characters gain an additional dice attack, all enemy characters gain an additional shield, and then all AI characters heal 1 and gain an energy. So I spent the 4, 1, 2, 3, so we're back to 9 for that. Everybody gains an energy and everybody would heal, but it doesn't matter because they're all at full health or he's KO'd. So it's not so bad, but I want this to hopefully appear really soon so it can go away. So now we have any player that can go, and I think I'm going to choose Teela. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give her 3 power going right to her heal ability. And then she gets 2 actions. So I'm just going to have her go 1, 2, 3, and then she is going to go ahead and smack this robot here in the face. Come on, Teela, get him. Get him, girl. Get him. Get him. Oh, man, so close. That's all right. Oh, well, what can you do? That pretty much ends that. So let's head back to the board, reset everything for the next round, and see where we go from there. I actually realized that I did the strategy, and I never actually moved the minions around. So Teela was back here. You know, let's just go with it. So we're going to roll this for Teela. 2 damage on Teela. This is my penalty. These guys are just coming right at Teela. I'm sorry, 1 damage for Teela, none damage from there because the shield. And this guy, 1, 2, 3. He's going to attack He-Man. We'll go over here. Okay, so then he rolls 2 more dice. Wow, this is going to hurt. That is 3 damage to He-Man. He-Man's not going to take that line down. Yes, he's going to give the AI another power, but he's going to lash out and roll a dice for every wound that he took, which in this case was 2. So he'll just take 2 dice and he's going to strike back and kill it. That is great. So this guy is gone. Gave that to the AI because they have 10, and we'll do that there. All right, that was fun. Okay, that should even everything out now, which is good. I got to remember that the empowered card is still active. Actually, I'm just going to leave it to the side so I always remember. It doesn't get shuffled back into the strategy activation this turn because technically it is active right now for whatever happens here. Speaking of happening here, now that the minions have been settled and all that other stuff, Teela's going to go, then Man-at-Arms, then He-Man. We need to find this NPC. We have to find this. Oh, perfect. That's great. Okay, so this is no longer in effect. Oh man, that actually worked out wonderful. I'm not going to give her her attack boost, her defense boost, but this is for the 1, 2. Okay, so hold on a second. 1 damage for Teela and 2 damage for Teela. Oh man. Okay, 1, 2. That's a great way to start this. She's going to have to heal herself next turn. All right, strategy activation. Ambush. Controller pays 5 power. Great. All players become characters become dazed. Then each character suffers 4. Oh, jeez. All right, so that just happens. None of the other things happen. That's the only thing that happens is that ambush. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's back down to 5 over here. Now everybody takes Teela, Man-at-Arms, and He-Man each take 4 dice worth of melee damage. All right, we'll start with Teela. Remember, if it's a Gray Skull, then power is not gained, but it still counts as an attack. All right, so 1 goes through, bing, and then she takes 2 hits. So 2 hits for Teela, for He-Man, it's 3 hits for He-Man, of course. And then Man-at-Arms is 3 hits for Man-at-Arms. I keep, come on. 1, 2, wow, that's really close. And then 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Ouch. Ouch, my characters, ouch. All right, Teela's turn. She does have 1 power, which is just going to go right here to max out this. She's going to give a lot of power to the AI. First, she's going to spend all 3, or no, she's going to spend, yeah, all 3 here. And actually, I think I healed He-Man an extra 1 by accident that one time. So I'm going to move him down in order to cover it, because it requires 2 in order to heal 2, and then 1 in order to make this a, well, you know what? No, we're just gonna leave it at that. We're gonna not make it a bonus action. So she'll heal 3. So now everybody's on the same spot here. So that's 1 action. Second action, we'll spend this, and she's gonna attack both robots in her spot. So then that's 1, 2, 3, 4 power back to the AI. Oof. So this is a melee attack right here, but if she defeats one, she defeats the other one, and that means that this is a clear place for them to run to. Staff of Power! Smack him in the face. There you go. That's awesome. Fantastic. Shkaboom. These 2 are gone, and that ends Teela's turn, but at the very least, there's nothing here, and that is fantastic. We'll put this up here, and now we have... who's going next? Trapjaw, okay. All right, character activation. Summon reinforcements. Okay, so he moves 2 spaces. He actually can only move 1. So he has to move here, because any other way, well, I guess he could go this way. So maybe he'll go 1, 2 out here, and then summon, and now they both activate. So 1 will go here and attack Teela after she just freaking got rid of it. All right, here we go. What do we got? Miss, fine. 1, 2, and then miss also, because she's still in her defensive stance. So that's perfect. All right, and then this goes away, and we flip here for Reckless Onslaught. No one's in range, but he is going to move 4 spaces, and he's going to suffer a wound. So I guess he'll go like 1, 2, 3, and stand right there in front of Teela, again, right in front of the doorway, and suffer 1 wound because of it. All right, so that's him. Trapjaw did gain 1 power, and now it is Man-at-Arms' turn. So I think what Man-at-Arms is going to do is he's going to take out his new weapon, his fun stun gun, and he's going to blast Trapjaw from here. Because he figured if he can knock him out of this and get him out of the game, at least for a little bit, that's going to make getting around a little bit easier. So we're going to use the stun gun, which is a long-range attack. 1, 2, 3, plenty in range. All right, here we go. Attack number 1. Beautiful, awesome. So that, I believe... here we are. For each success, the enemy also loses 1. I should have attack boosted it. Man, he would have been dazed, and then he wouldn't have had his armor count so long as he was dazed. But I did do at least 1 damage to him, so he does lose 1 power. Let's go ahead and I'm just going to go ahead and attack boost it anyway. Do I want to do that in order to do more damage to him? Let's, yeah, okay, let's do that. Yeah, we'll attack boost. I'm not getting around his armor, but if I daze him, then I can talk about what that does. And I do. Okay, perfect. Blasted him. All right, so first what the stun gun does is it does remove 2 power from Trapjaw because of the ability. Because it did 2 damage to him, and so it did, it removed that. But it also dazed him. So I'm going to put this on here. What dazed means is that this character is now, he loses all of his armor bonuses. So I wish I did it first, so I would have done a little bit more damage. And he then removed, or he only moves 1 less movement on his turn. So if he takes a move action, it's whatever it is minus 1. He can, and I don't think this is in the rules, but I think it should be, on his next turn, the first thing he does is removes an energy, or a power, I should say, in order to remove the dazed condition. Anybody can do that. Anybody that is dazed can spend a power to remove the dazed condition, except for minions. Minions cannot remove the dazed condition because they do not earn power. And I think that's probably what I'm going to do also. So he doesn't have the shield on him right now, which means he can go down. If he does get KO'd, this also goes away. But on his next turn, he can always just spend one of those and do it himself. Speaking of next turn, is it Faker? Oh, it is Faker. Faker is back on the field, so let's grab him, bring him up to 7, and put him somewhere on the board. I'm just going to put him over here. We're going to say he pops in way on this side of the field. And what are we drawing? We have Activate Skill. I don't think this is going to do anything because he's too far away. Yeah, he has to move 2 spaces and then move 2 spaces again. So we'll go 1, 2, 1, 2 as he makes his way around. And that's it, right? Yeah, 1, 2. Yeah, they were not in range. So all he had to do was just move up this way and then he'd become in range. All right, He-Man, you're up. You do gain 2 power, which I'm going to put 1 here and 1 here. And I think what I'm going to do is, because I have the high ground against Terraclaw Skeletor, which means I do gain 1 additional attack dice for my attack, we're just going to go ahead and do the Battle Axe right here. He has no defensive skills and no shield, so it's going to be just a 4 dice attack against him. This might just be an epic showdown between these two right now, because Terraclaw is going to go next, and he's going to fight He-Man. So, okay, so there we go. So that's 3 damage to Terraclaw Skeletor plus 1 power. And I'm just going to go ahead and do it again. Let's just do 1 more Battle Axe. And again, we have 4 dice because we're on top of the rock hitting him. Whoa, that's great. And, 7 damage and 2 power for He-Man. Yes, yeah, I have the power. You go whoosh all the way down there. And I do gain 2, so I'll put 1 there. And I'm going to put 1 at Lash Out because I have a feeling I'm going to need it in a moment. All right, so we know Skeletor goes next. So here we are, Terraclaw Skeletor. He gains 2 power, so there's 1, 2, and here we go. All right, we have Attack and Advance. Very simple, actually. Just perform his attack action. He's going to perform his attack action. He's going to perform his attack action twice. Which, as remember from his card, he will be doing these boosts. So he'll go ahead and do this, and he'll actually spend all 3. So now, for each wound dealt, he's going to heal himself 1, and after this attack, he's going to perform 1 additional Terraclaw attack that cannot gain additional power. That means that if he rolls Gray Skulls, it doesn't matter. All right, so here we go. The first attack on He-Man does nothing, so that's no wound or whatever to him. The second attack also does nothing. Oh, wow. That's great. Ah, dang. Oh, you're too high. I can't get you. Oh, take that, Skeletor. Haha. And now I'm actually going to go ahead and say that for this turn right here, He-Man is going to go again. So I'm going to have him go 1 more time. He's going to Battle Axe Skeletor and then to hopefully knock him out for good. Well, it won't be for good. He'll definitely be back a little bit later, but at the very least, we gain another power, and we definitely knock him out. There he goes. And that actually opens up a clear path for He-Man to get down. He does have another action to him, so he's going to take that right now. So that's 1, 2, 1, 2 to jump down 3. So that's his movement. Skeletor does get KO'd. We are in the 5th level, so I'm going to go over that momentarily. But before I do any of that, I am going to go ahead and use a bonus action of Mighty Leap here, which pushes He-Man up to 2 spaces, so it doesn't count as an actual movement. So I'm going to push him right here next to this token, so this way on He-Man's next turn, he can flip it and see if it's who he needs to rescue. All right, level 3 skills. First, we have Teela for Grayskull. 3 power, bonus action, so there's all the power for that. All allies in the battlefield gain a power. Goddess Teela and all allies in the battlefield may then push up to 2 spaces. That's fun. And then she has Inspiring. For a reaction, for 1 power, when Goddess Teela or an ally within 4 spaces is reduced to 0, Roll 2 dice. Any ranged attacks that are shown, they're not KO'd, but remain conscious with 2 HP and they gain a power. Oh, that's the one I'm taking. Man-at-Arms has issue orders. For a bonus action, Man-at-Arms moves 1 space. So he just moves a space on his own. That's cool. 2 power, bonus action, 1 ally within 4 spaces performs 1 attack. And I can surge that to add a die and reroll to that attack. Cool. Or I have enhanced gear. Man-at-Arms may use these boosts on himself or any allies within 4 spaces. The more he spends, the more armor he gets. Wow. And then Battle Axe He-Man. Anytime he would pay power, he instead may pay wounds for this. Roll +1 die for every 2 wounds He-Man has suffered. This cannot exceed 6 dice. And then his best one ever. I have the power! First time Battle Axe He-Man activates each round, this skill gains 2 power. All enemies within 2 spaces suffers 2 wounds, becomes dazed. And then this also could become a bonus action, one of his best abilities ever. All right, I have the power, issue orders, and inspiring. Each one of those goes up. Each one of those gains a thingy, and that is going to end this round. Let's go ahead and do the reset. Okay, so I'm actually going to have He-Man go first. You were back here at 7. Do I want Man-at-Arms to go next or Teela based on where they are? I'm actually going to have Teela go next and then Man-at-Arms, and then we'll see what happens here. So, boom, 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 boom. And first and foremost is, hey, Terraclaw is back. We'll move him up to 8. I'm going to drop him right up here. I want to put him there. That's where I choose for him to go. And then we're going to go ahead and flip over a charge. Let's see. Move 2 spaces until he gets an attack range. Sure, whatever. So 1, 2, 1, 2. I guess maybe I should have put him there to really put the pressure on He-Man, but I think we're fine. I kind of just want to start really getting things going. This is going on really long. Speaking of which, it is He-Man's turn, and it's like, what are you? Oh man, please. Please, 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 please. Okay, that's it. Oh, that's it, that's it, that's it. Oh, where are you? Where are you? Okay, so this is now the NPC. So we have found who is our NPC. Mom, I found you. Queen Marlena apparently was here the whole time. Wow, that's oddly thematic considering they kept coming in here guarding this particular spot the whole time. Wow, that makes sense in a whole way. Queen Marlena has 1 defense and 5 health. We're not going to worry about her special ability because in this scenario, NPC special abilities do not trigger. However, she will be targeted by attack, so I have to make sure she does not go down. So she's actually going to go on the board as well. She's going to sit right here at 5. Her token is different than all the other ones, so I can put it in one of these like little capsule spots here, but that's where she goes. She's going to go right here. And then the way that this works is that I can take a move action, 1, 2, 3, and then she can go to an adjacent spot after I've completed my move action. And my whole goal is to get her to one of these spots. So He-Man really just needs to go again, and he'll be able to, get her to where she needs to go. All right, so he can actually, I forgot that these gain it as well, and I do have 1 more power to give He-Man, so we'll just put it right there. That's fine. Next on the list is Faker. And Faker is going to advance and attack. No one's within range. It's weird. He's not going to be able to really get anywhere because even if it's 1, he can't do anything. So I think he may go 1, 2, 1, 2, and like guard the door basically right here. So this way, no, not that it matters. Technically, the way that the scenario works is I would need to grab every one of these in order to say that it's done, but I don't care. Once I get Queen Marlena done, I'm going to say that it's over. All right, Teela's turn. She does have 2 power, so we're actually going to give that right here to her healing. Do I want to just go ahead and heal? You know, well, let's just do that anyway. I'm just going to spend all 3 immediately, make a surge action, So she'll heal 2. This will go up to 13. So now it's her normal turn. I'm going to go ahead and spend 1 more. We'll put this at 14 to do a melee attack in front of her on the robot and then hit all other adjacent enemies to the target. At the very least, let's get rid of those robots. Okay, perfect. So that's 2 damage right there. And Trapjaw is actually still dazed, so I targeted this guy. So you're gone, and both Trapjaw and Skeletor take 2 damage. Yeah, sure, why not? 1, 2, and you're down to 6. You know what? Let's do it again. Let's go ahead and do this. I'll target Trapjaw this time. That's fine. They go to 15. And then she can actually hit all 3 of them. And she does. Look at that. Oh man, that's great. And she gains 2 power. Fantastic. So actually, Trapjaw is KO'd, which is awesome. 1, 2, 3 here, and then 1, 2, 3 here. That's not going to go up any further, but at least now he's off the board temporarily. And we'll take those 2 and put it back to the heal, so this way she can, get ready to heal some more at another time. Man, just knocking their blocks off left and right. Crazy. And there's no minions on the field either. We just got to get He-Man back here. That's it. That's it. All right. Who's next? Who's next? Trapjaw. He goes back on the board. I just want to see what he's doing. Attack and advance. That's fine. We'll put him back up here where Faker came from. And just 1, 2, 1, 2. And that's his entire turn. For the sake of moving things along, I'm actually just going to say that we did what we needed to do. Man-at-Arms is going to forfeit his turn. The strategy is going to go. I'm just kind of curious what the strategy is. Empowered, so it would have just empowered all of the guys there, paying all of that and doing some healing, except for Trapjaw because he's already at full health. And then He-Man would have went. He would have went 1, 2, 3, doesn't really matter, and chose her to go there. Queen Marlena has been saved. She's been escorted out of here. Yes, I didn't want to pick up the rest of those things because I have been recording for over 2.5 hours and I am done. This has been an experience. There you have it, everybody. Masters of the Universe Clash for Eternia. Now, this is a little bit more of an intense first type of thing in order to show you guys for tutorial-wise because the objective of going and getting the tokens was definitely something that you had to really work around. Technically, Skeletor should have probably spawned here, moved in adjacent to the token. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure that I can't interact with the token if another enemy is adjacent to it, which is what Skeletor would have been. He would have been one of these places. I would have needed to taken him out in order to be able to do something. And of course, every turn, if I take him out, he may just spawn back hip here and way. And most things in the the character AI deck, at the very minimum, moves the characters forward into the spot. So this was really like a planning type deal of getting to where I had to get to, find the token, and hope that it's where it was. So it's like, yeah, so that's the Atom I wanted. All the other ones are sad Atoms because it's not the right token at all. Man, thank God that this was the one. That was crazy. It could have been any other one, and at least that was the one. But again, technically I should have found them all. I don't care. It's fine. It is what it is. Guys, let me know what you think of this down in the comment section below. I will have one more video featuring this coming out really soon. That one's going to be a straight battle, more of a brawl of sorts, which is kind of what this is. I'm going to be switching sides. We're going to be doing some villains versus some heroes. And then going forward, any other AI scenarios that I put out will then also feature other factions that you're going to find within this game. She-Ra, the Horde, the Snake Man. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. That also means in order not to miss any future Masters of the Universe action, be sure you're subscribed to the Home Gamer Dad. Again, let me know what you think of this. What did you think of the gameplay? What did you think of all of the abilities and things along that ways? I'm looking forward to playing this again. This did take a little bit longer than anticipated, but I think the next one's just going to be a little bit better because I don't have to go through the tutorial. If you have any questions at all about the game, about how to play it or whatever, please leave them down in the comment section below, and I'll get to them as soon as I can in order to help you answer them. I'm still kind of learning the game too, little by little. There's a lot of little weird things that pop up here and there that kind of contradict each other, you know, whenever you're trying to do something, especially in solo mode. But for the most part, I think this is well done. I think this is amazingly designed, and I can't wait to continue on for you guys. So, take care of yourselves and each other. We are family forever, gaming together. We have the power, and I will see you in the next one.